If someone confesses a terrible crime to a priest, like a murder, kidnap, or child sex abuse, what can the priest do? Are they obligated to notify the authority? Well, Father David Michael Moses, what a name, have the answer for you. Let's listen to him. Take a look.
Father, if someone comes to you in confession and confesses that they murdered someone, what do you do? What's up, guys? I'm Father David Michael Moses. I'm a Catholic priest, and this is one of the more intense questions I get. We'll be answering lots of questions on this channel, so make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. Now, this question is obviously referencing what we call the seal of confession.
What is this, confession?
Which basically means that if you come to confession, the priest can't repeat what you say. The priest can't go around saying, hey, did you hear so-and-so did this? Let me give you 3 scenarios to illustrate this point. First, if you come to meet with me in my office, not confession, we're just talking, then that's what we call privileged information. I'm not bound to strict secrecy, but if I went around saying, Sally told me that her husband Joe has a real gambling problem, then that would be inappropriate. It would just be uncharitable. It was privileged information that the person trusted me with. As a spiritual father, I want to respect the personal business of my parishioners. But here's another scenario. If someone in my office, again, not confession, tells me that they poisoned all the water in the city, then I'm obviously going to do something about it. They don't have the right to keep me in secrecy just because we spoke in my office. If someone tells me outside of confession, even in private, that they are going to harm themselves or someone else, or that there's a grave danger that either of those things might happen, I am bound by love and often by law to act on that information.
What the priest just said is correct, and I agree with him. In the state of New York, which I'm currently living in, if you're a healthcare worker, you're a social worker, you're a teacher, you are mandated to report a crime that you are aware of. If you don't, you might go to jail. But if you're a private citizen, you're not legally required to report a crime. Let's continue.
Appropriately. But by contrast, if you come to confession, we're clearly in the sacrament of confession, we're going through the ritual, then whatever you say in confession, I cannot repeat under any circumstances. We call it the seal of confession because the sins are sealed in secrecy. No matter what sins are said in confession, the priest cannot say or do anything about them. He can't even treat the person differently afterwards. And this,
man, that is hard. You can't even treat the person differently. Let's say you're a Christian, right? Someone that you know of confessed to you that they abuse a child. Will you treat that person differently? Let me know in the comments. Let's continue.
this is extremely serious. If a priest directly breaks the seal, meaning if they tell someone that a specific person committed a specific sin, then that priest is automatically excommunicated or kicked out of the church. It's extremely grave. So let's go to our question. What if the person confesses something really big, like a murder?
Some say murder?
What do I do? Well, here's the thing to understand. The sins I hear in confession, they don't belong to me. I'm acting in persona Christi, or in the person of Christ. The sins belong to God. I do have a chance as a spiritual father to offer some advice. Really, the confessional is the only place where you can bring your deepest, darkest things and know that it's going to stay there. But that freedom gives me the chance to help you see how important it is to be sorry for the sins and to try to repair any damage caused by them. I can say, hey, this is a problem. We need to make sure this never happens again. If the person has committed a crime, maybe we need to talk about the possibility of turning themselves in. But I couldn't require anyone to reveal their crime. For example, a priest cannot make someone turn themselves in for their penance. I could suggest it, but at the end of the day, that would be up to them. If someone else is being charged with a crime they committed, that injustice should be rectified. So if someone comes to me in confession and confesses that they murdered someone, what do I do? Well, I forgive them in the person of Christ. That's the power of what Jesus did on the cross. What he did is enough. Even for murder, what Jesus did is enough. For what I've done, it's enough. for what you've done. So, if you've been away from confession for a while, today might be a really good day to start again. Hope you found that helpful. Actually, I did forget, the only sin that we can't forgive is if someone watches one of my videos but doesn't subscribe. Just kidding.
I am not a Catholic, but I don't disagree with the priest. If I go to a pastor and I reveal to him the things that I've done in the past and he went and reported, I will never trust that pastor again. And most likely, no brother or sister in that church will trust him. And what he said about forgiveness is correct. God is able to forgive all sin, and we should as well. When Jesus was being crucified on the cross, one of the thieves that was crucified alongside him said to him, they deserved the punishment they were receiving. They must have done something really bad. But he looked at Jesus and said to Jesus, remember me when you get into your kingdom. And Jesus said to him, I tell you today, you will be with me in paradise. Jesus forgave that man. Forgiveness is a Christian worldview. We should all follow it. All right, this is the video out for you guys. Please consider liking and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.